Instead of continuing where we left off, let's learn more about where that actually is. Our story has been contained thus far to the plane of Craith, the anchor of the mortal planes. On Craith we find a world not entirely dissimilar to our own in concept, people who live and die, who have more in common than they might assume, but whose differences add beauty and depth to the world in which they live. And the world in kind extends itself outward to them. Craith is a land of 4 large regions: Coira, which dominates our story, the eastern half shunted into the sea by our Kratos in time forgotten, allegedly, with mountainous cliffs holding the memory of that space. The west side of the continent stretches out and greets the ocean gently. Alria lies beyond that sea, accessible through a land bridge, only traversable when the large slumbering beasts that hibernate between the islands of the connecting archipelago are at rest. The eastern side opens up to that shared sea with Coira. No one has found Alria's westernmost border. Meira refers to the people and civilizations that occupy the shallower ocean lands and extend to some of the deepest trenches. Land-dwelling folk rarely visit, for reasons I think you can surmise. If there were a 4th region of Craith, named Mausolea, it would not exist. All of these places and the people within them comprise Coira. It is the shared path between all other mortal planes, the planes that cultivate life. The first we will cover is Alstus, the haloed expanse. It is a land of dreams where minds, ideas, and creatures wander listlessly in a vast sea, where thoughts are power as much as your conviction, and fears and hopes take form whether you want them to or not. It is a place that invites curiosity and danger in equal intense measures. It is the place where dreams are born, live, and die. It is infinite only in that it is bounded by the thoughts and aspirations of all who are, were, and will be. Their unconscious thoughts breathing life like dandelion seeds into the aether. The next is Ulfair, the Twilight Wilds, a land of Fae where wild magic is tamed only by the power of words spoken against it. Some mistake the chaos of Ulfair for the unbounded freedom of Alstus, when truly the wilds are bound by a more ancient and arcane system of rules than almost anything persisting on Coira. It is a land where time and space converge, where distance is measured in moments and miles interchangeably. The bulk of Ulfair is governed by the seasonal courts, a system of 4 ruling entities, the vernal, estival, autumnal, and hymal courts, which interface with the external world and take responsibility for stewardship of the wilds within. The seasonal courts are balanced by the significantly smaller, though still powerful, Court of the Dawn, which controls the more externally dangerous Dusklands and tends to be more hostile to outsiders. Despite the court's power, there are still those who exist outside of either group, in the uncontrolled lands referred to as the Open Realm. Balancing the triad of anchored lands is Droth, the Umbral Reach. Droth is a land of darkness where secrets are born as easily as a shadow, and forbidden knowledge lies, dormant and waiting. It is a place of treachery in that it is a place that cannot easily be controlled. Unlike the unrestricted power of Alstus or the hierarchical rules within Ulfair, Droth is predictable. It is dangerous in the way you would expect a spooky dark wasteland to be dangerous. The threats are present and physical and painful. If you can survive, you might be lucky and find what you are looking for. If you look in the wrong place, you might be lucky and find only a swift death. Those who inhabit Droth know that something is worth exactly how much of your life you are willing to risk for it. Those who call Droth home know that a community is only as strong as its weakest bond. Aside from the mortal planes, Kraith is also the conduit of the eternal planes, those which do not cultivate life. The dread realm of Kor is very aptly named. It is, to put it concisely, a place of abyssal terror and home to monstrosities beyond imagination. This is the land beyond, where torment and souls are currency. Very, very rarely do souls find themselves in Kor without a reason. It is not a punishment, but a consequence. Those who find power in Kor most often do so with one purpose in mind: gaining power over the anchored realms and those within them. Would-be gods and ancient spirits whisper to the minds of impressionable mortals, promising power and the solution to all their problems. They often deliver on these promises. They often exact a very fitting price. To say that everything in Kor acts with malice is perhaps ascribing too much intent. After all, if you are a being of pain and torment, what else are you supposed to do? The Divine Garden of Sar is also aptly named. It is the realm where many gods remain, stewarding the souls of those who paid them loyalty in life. Unbound souls who pledge loyalty to no god nor religion nor spirit also likely find themselves in Sar upon death, but whether that is their true end is an entirely different matter. Living souls are occasionally granted access to Sar, but more often than not, it is an end. Not all souls shine through eternity, however, and some find that while Sar is their end, it is the beginning of something else, something different than what came before, something reborn or transformed entirely. The last of the eternal planes is Nil. It is all of the places that lie in between. The passages between the other planes, the chains that bind them, the emptiness of infinity, the void of space. It is said that the hearts of the Titans were lost to Nil, and this is what caused them to lose power compared to the gods. In a way, Nil exists only relative to the other planes, but in the gestalt of the universe, Nil is the background in which the other planes are drawn against. When everything ends, and all things that were no longer are, all that remains will be Nil. But right now, in this story, everything that was still is, and our heroes find themselves in a world much larger than the one they thought they knew. And there's still so much more to explore, so much more to know. And we will continue that exploration in next week's episode. Thank you for listening.